championship. He's like, Coach, let's do this commitment thing together. And I'm here all the way from Orlando, Florida, making it happen for this young man. Now, I'm not going to talk because it's not about me, it's about him. So before we go ahead and get started, I want to talk to the gentleman who is the doctor behind Frankenstein and this monster athlete that we have. So I would love to bring up this young man because in my video, Peter is technically sound, fundamentally sound, hard worker, relentless pursuit to the football. This is all the characteristics that you want in a major Power 5 Division I football player. And so I would love to speak to the gentleman who is the mastermind behind this gentleman. His defensive line coach, Woodrow Briggs. Yeah. Well, Briggs, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
All right. So, Coach, you got a young man like Peter. Come on in just a little bit. You got a guy like Peter who comes in the 8th grade. And I come to find out in the 8th grade, he's moved up to varsity at the end of their regular season.
Yes, sir.
All right? So talk to us. How does that work? What makes you make that decision to say, I'm going to take this 13, 14-year-old young man and put him on the varsity level with 17, 18-year-old guys?
Actually, I was coaching in his 8th grade team.
Okay.
I came up to varsity after that season as well. But we came up here, I come up here and I meet with them on Sundays. They asked me, was it a kid down there that I felt like could play on the varsity level? At the time, he was the only one that was ready to come to play. There was some that could have been and came to practice, but he was ready to play. And it showed. He played in the state championship game as an 8th grader.
So you told me an 8th grade, 13-year-old is playing in the state championship in the state of Alabama.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's played in
4 state championships.
Started in 3. Yes, sir.
All right. So really quick, what was it? You said there was something about him, but we want to know, what is that something?
His drive, his person. It's not. I don't have to beg him to come to work, and that's something special to hold on to. And I hope that's something he continues to hold on to. He shows up. Everybody has bad days, but at the end of the day, he's going to push everybody around him and himself. He holds himself sometimes to a higher standard than I do.
I love it. So it's nothing to have him come to practice and put it on. How does he practice? Is he the guy that you have to constantly stay on? Do you push him? Does he push others? What happens in practice? Because that's what really makes him play.
A lot of times we have to take him out of practice. We're not able to run plays, so that's what you want. I wanted to be when I'm standing on one sideline and I look over at my head coach, he's looking at me like, hey, we need to get him off the field. And that's what happens most of the time. He's the rough, he tears stuff up.
So I know you guys have a very close relationship. I know I've seen it, like I said, I've been here for a few days. And I understand that. Being a coach myself, I understand how relationships build. And they also become part of you, like a son to you.
Yes, sir.
How you gonna feel, Coach? How you gonna feel? I want to know, because I want to put you on the spot a little bit. How you gonna feel when the last game, and I'm gonna proclaim it now, the state championship of his senior year, when the clock hit 0, how do you feel as a coach that's been around a young man so long?
I'm gonna be happy for him, but it's gonna hurt. Honestly, this whole group, is special. He's kind of the centerpiece of it, but these are my guys. I've had this whole group going on 4 years now. He's the leader, but you can ask any of them, man. He holds everybody accountable. They all work. This is gonna be a special group for me.
I love it. Last question for you, Coach, before we move on. He's down to 4 schools. He's going to make his decision here in a few moments. What are these schools, or these one potential schools, going to get out of Peter Wood?
A guy that can contribute right now. This kid is special, not just on the football field. He's mentally tough, and to me, that's the kicker. That's the difference. A lot of these kids can go play football, but can you handle the stuff outside of football when you get to college? And I think he's going to be ahead of a lot of them.
I love it. And that's exactly what you want, man. That's what head coaches and these recruiters are looking for when they're looking and they're scouring the earth for top talent. It's not that you can run, tackle, jump, and throw. You got to have the off-the-field stuff as well, man. So, Coach, thank you very much, man. From coach to coach, you've done an excellent job with him, man. Thank you for making him play the way he plays, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Congratulations to you. All right, real quick, as we move this thing on, we're going to speak to his parents here briefly. But before that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back in a few seconds. Mom, Dad, let's ride. Come on. Got 10 seconds. Go around and get the mic from me. Grab that mic. Yeah, hold it up closer to your mouth. Are we in front? How many you got in the check? All right, we're back live right here from Thompson High School. The commitment with Peter Woods, the top defensive lineman in the country. Right now I'm joined with his parents, Jermaine Woods and Devin Wood here. So I want to talk to you as parents. I know this journey had several players, just like Peter. I mean, highly taught talented guys, sought out by everybody in the world. How has this journey been for you all from the recruiting aspect?
You know, it's really been fun. It's really been fun experiencing new places, new schools, meeting new people, new players, you know, having to process some things that we have never had to do before. I look back on the experience and it's really been a blast.
Yeah, ditto that. He's absolutely right. It's been so much fun, and it's also been a huge learning process for us. So we've had to learn how to teach him the things. So it's been awesome.
Well, that's great. Like I said, I know this process is crazy. I know your phones are ringing off the hook left and right. Coaches are relentless when it comes to top talent. I totally understand it. Have you had to change your phone number yet?
Right? We're thinking about it.
Yeah, after today, we might change our phone numbers.
Trust me, the recruiting process, hey, because they commit, it doesn't stop. These coaches are relentless, and they will not stop right now. So let's talk about this piece. I know we spoke last night a little bit about camps and doing different things. What is it from a parent's perspective that you think that how is Peter Woods this good?
I think for us, the main thing, and this is with all of our kids, not just Peter, is to really recognize what their gifts are, to recognize what their interests are, and to invest in it. And that's what we did. That's what we try to do our best to do, is to not only recognize those things, but then invest in those things. And see what God does after that.
Definitely, man. That's awesome. That's a great way to look at it. Now, I know we're here in beautiful Thompson High School. A lot of people here. I want you to speak briefly to other parents who may be going through this real soon and don't know and don't truly understand what it takes. Like I said, these coaches come. You got some coaches landing helicopters at the school. I mean, you got all type of stuff. I've seen coaches pulling up boats to the marina. So, I mean, they go all out when it comes to this stuff. Just I would like for you to give a quick message to a parent that may not have so much to guide them through this. If you can speak to them in this thing and maybe give them a few minutes.
Right. So first of all, our village has been absolutely amazing. This is not something that we've done on our own. I wish everybody could see all the people in this room. Everybody in this room has played a part in helping us get through this process with Peter. But the key word today is boundaries. Set boundaries. Teach your children to set boundaries. It makes all the difference. It really does. Because when you set boundaries from the beginning, people know what to expect. They know what their limits are, and they stick to them. We are a family who sets boundaries, and we say what we mean, and we mean what we say.
All right, real quick before we get into the announcement coming up here in a few minutes. I know this is an emotional time, and you have really 4 different schools in 4 different states, technically. I know you all are close as a family. what does it mean potentially? I know we have Alabama here, which is approximately 45 minutes down the street. But what does it mean if he decides to take his talent somewhere else? What does that do in the family since to have this big old guy lunking around the house every day till now, my baby's gone? Talk to me.
Oh man, come December, there's going to be a void in the household. We had to go through before. Our oldest is in college, and so we've experienced it, and we'll experience it again, and we'll experience it 2 more times. But certainly there'll be a void. But I'll tell you this: that one thing, there's not enough space in the United States to separate us from each other. So I promise you that. Doesn't matter where it is, we'll be there.
I love it. I love that. Well, real quick, we're going to go to our last commercial here break, and then we're going to bring the young man on himself. We're going to get straight into this commitment, Mom. Don't you tear up. I'm a coach, but I'm soft too. I'll be over here crying. Stop it, Mom. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and take our last commercial break. We'll get right to it, and after that, we'll get on the
Go Thompson!
All right, where's Peter? Peter, let's do it. All right, All right, Mom, hey, you got a few seconds, so whoever it is will bring them over to me. Put the mic on.
Mic check. Mic check.
There's some push-ups dealing with this dude. We got a few seconds on the commercial. Huh?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, we're back again here at Thompson High School in Alabaster, Alabama, which is a suburb of Birmingham, as they call it, Beeham. I'm here with the man of the hour, Peter Wood. Peter, talk to me, man. Talk to me about how you feel today. When you woke up this morning and you know the commitment is happening in a few hours after you wake up, how are you feeling?
Man, I just know it's a blessing to be here, blessing to have all my family out here supporting me and wake up this morning in this position. I know it's a lot of people who want to be in this position that I'm in, so I just take that for what it is, and I thank God every day, every night before I go to bed, every morning when I wake up, just for allowing me and equipping me with the gifts that I have.
I love it, man. So you come to this decision day. What brought you to this particular day to say, I'm ready to make my commitment on this very day?
You know, I just feel like, well, my commitment was supposed to be done, before the season, so that was my hard timeline, just so I could be ready and prepared for my team. So the main thing for me was just when I knew, and so I felt like I had enough information going into my commitment to make a decision.
All right, real quick, you narrowed it down to these 4 schools. I want to briefly talk about these 4 schools and how did you come to this conclusion? Let's talk about, let's be honest, the elephant in the room, which is Jackson State, and HBCU, which is a historically black college and university. Everybody knows they've had a lot of pub going on with Coach Prime, which is Deion Sanders, the Florida State great and NFL great. What brings you to the conclusion to put Jackson State as one of your Final 4?
Well, Jackson State, I just believe in Coach Brown's vision for the program. I believe in his vision to develop the players that he has, and I believe in his recruiting tactics, and that everything is going to come good for the better for his cause.
So in other words, I believe. That's their slogan, hashtag I believe that over at Jackson State. Let's move on over here to the state power, the national global powerhouse, but the home team school, which is Alabama Crimson Tide. What brings you here as a finalist? So far, like I said, 45 minutes up the road. The GOAT, the greatest of all time, Coach Nick Saban. Talk to us, how can you reach that conclusion with Alabama?
Alabama was one of my first recruiting relationships. It was important that they reached out to me. Being an in-state kid, growing up an Alabama fan, my dad went to Alabama, my mom grew up in Tuscaloosa, so it was important to me when I got that offer. So ever since then, they maintained a great relationship with me and kept it constant. I just wanted to see that.
All right. Now over to my home state of Florida with new coach Billy Napier, who's taking over the helm there. Florida has done some things in the recruiting track, and they've made some noise out there. Coach Napier's ready to make some changes there in Gainesville, aka the swamp, as they call it. What brings Florida to your Final Four as well?
You know, when Coach Napier came in, he brought in an amazing staff. The staff is deep. And the main thing with Florida was just educational for me. I definitely want to go into sports communication of some site and all the things that they have and all the people that they have that they do that. I mean, like Tim Tebow, Ron Roses, the list goes on. So that was a big part for me is picking Florida to be my top four.
All right. And again, this is no particular order. I'm just going with the hats. And last, we have the Clemson Tigers over in South Carolina. Dabo Sweeney has been there for a very long time, established program that won national championships. And like I said, what brings them into your Final Four as a program?
I just, for one, believe in Coach Lee's ability to feed in the players mentally, spiritually, physically, and all of the above. And Coach Eason coming in from Auburn, our relationship kind of carried on. So that was a good relationship that I had, and he's been looking for it. That's an important part of me. The fact that he's lived what I want to live, coach what I want to do. So that was important.
I got you. Real quick before we get into this deal, I come to Alabama and this big guy says, Coach, you got to wear this shirt. I have my own shirt and my branding went out the way, so I had to put this P-Woo. Talk to us real quick. What is the P-Woo brand?
Well, P-Woo means my name, Pure Woods. So just kind of put it in there. That's what you get. There's not too much to it, but my brand is important to me and important to who I am. They say man makes a brand, so that's important.
The man makes the brand. That's huge right there. And that's big. Now, with social media presence, everybody's out here, everybody has a brand, right? And so he started his own P-Woo brand. Where can people go cop the merch if that's the case?
PWoo11.com.
Hey, I'm loving it. He's got bags, he's got cups, he's got shirts. Coach don't even have this stuff, man. So go check out PWoo11.com. Right now, we want to bring in his family that's going to get to the commitment. I'm going to be quiet, leave it to his family. Let's bring in the commitment. So, Dad, I know Dad wants to come in and talk a little bit, and everybody else. So, family, come on in. Where are you? Don't be shy.
Yeah, go.
Come on, take it. Take it. Give me this one, y'all. You got to get tight as possible. Huh? Yeah. It's okay. You have as long as you want, sir.
First thing I want to do is I want all our folks in here who know that God is real to give God some praise today. God has been a way maker for somebody. Give God praise today. You falling down, but you were able to get up. Give God praise today. If you almost fell out, but you got back up. Give God praise today. Amen. Not just for Peter, for us, but for the God that created all of us. I just want to say a couple things to Peter and about Peter. I still remember when Denver was a cheerleader and we showed up at Veterans Park and Coach Mayhall at the time saw a 2 or 3-year-old Peter and tried to recruit him to be on the 70-pound team. He was like, Coach, he's 2 years old, he can't play yet. You just got to wait a little while. But I remember that. And I want him to know today that we're not proud of you just for sacks and TFLs and plays and rings and championships, but we're proud of you for a whole lot of other reasons. We're proud that you got your own style. We tried to dress this kid up many times, it just don't work. So we just roll with it. We're proud that you have your own mind. That he'll debate you until the end of the world if he really believes in what he's saying. We're proud that you remember that to whom much is given, much is required. We're proud that you set goals and you stick to them. We're proud that you didn't allow a setback a couple years ago to allow you to lose focus. And more than that, I'm proud that he's not too cool to hug his mama and to love on his sisters. I'm glad that he's that way. But more than anything, I'm proud that Peter is a person that wants to put everybody else on if he has an opportunity. There were so many times that we went to visits at other places, and he wasn't concerned about how we were going to get there. He was concerned about who he could take with him. I'm grateful for that. Kirk Franklin and Maverick City have a song, I'm not going to sing it, but they got a song called Bless Me. And the words made me think about Peter's experience. And the words say, bless me, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. That speaks to who Peter is. In closing, before we show the video, there's a little story in 1 Samuel 17 that talks about a little boy named David. And everybody knows the story of David, but what's interesting is that right before David goes to meet Goliath, Saul tells him to put on his armor.
Yes, sir.
All right.
David says to Saul, that's not my armor. I can't wear that. And I'm proud that this boy understands that he don't have to wear everybody else's armor. That he don't have to live everybody else's life. That he's his own person. And we need to understand that today, that all of you that are in here today is not just for him, but for you. That you are enough. That you don't have to fit in somebody else's box. You don't have to do what somebody else told you thought you should do. That you are enough. Who God created you to be is who you should be. Who God created you to be is enough. I'm glad that he knows that already, but I'm glad that he's going to show the world that. I'm out of time, but I ain't out of message. Amen.
I'm out of time. It's your day.
So we just got to, hey, it's time to premiere. It's time to premiere, Coach Hayes. Cue the tape. We ready. Let's get it.
Hit the lights. Give us 1 second.
everybody's waiting for is which college will you select?
First, I want to thank God for equipping me with the intangibles and work ethic to play this game at a high level. Mom and Dad, thank you for the many sacrifices you have made to make sure I have what I need to be successful. Dylan, Carter, and Denver, thank you all for pushing me to be the best version of me, even when it was uncomfortable in the moment. To my brothers at Buck Creek, my day ones, thank you guys for being my biggest supporters throughout this process and helping me keep my head level. The lessons we've learned together on and off the field have better equipped me for the next chapter in my life, and I'm forever grateful for it. To my grandparents, thank you for being my guide and keeping me grounded while allowing me to do what I love the most. All the uncles and aunties, love you guys for loving and protecting me since the beginning, and more importantly, supporting my dreams. Coach Briggs and Coach Romero, thank you for sharing your knowledge with me, allowing me to better my game, and demanding my best day in and day out, on and off the field. Coach Freeman and Coach D, thank you for taking a chance on young 8th grade me and helping me become a better leader and player. Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path." With that, for the next 3 or 4 years, I will be attending